Welcome to Achieve's Mastermind Call today. This is the Elevate Your Business Mastermind Call where we talk about really embodying your value and selling high value offers. And so we just were talking and I said, I need to push record because this was such a great question, or just to share even, was we have a person here, Don. Don, welcome. Would you tell us just a little bit of what you just said and then I'll address it?
Just saying, I'm giving a presentation tonight to, I always get these round the wrong way, Wine, Women and Wealth tonight in Westminster. So I'm talking about money blocks in the subconscious mind and how we stop money from coming to us. So I was just saying, any tips that you've got for me to just throw at me and I'll incorporate it and get some ideas.
Great. I love this. So I could give you tips on tips on tips, right? So, because it depends on what the question would be about at all. What we're going to do is give you tips on sales. So when you have a talk, you want to have an idea about the end game and work your way backwards. What do I want to happen at the end? I want somebody to take action or inaction if it's not for them. Action or inaction, it's kind of the same thing. Inaction is an action, right? Is it making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we want to think, what do we really want them to do? What is the sell? What's the sell? It might be have them sign up for a Black Friday program. It might be sign up for a conversation with you. It might be give them a freebie and they go to a link. There's all sorts of, listen to my podcast, there's all sorts of things you can have them do, but thinking what do you want them to do at the end of it? And then with high value offers, what we usually want is a private conversation. We want them to get on the phone with us for a private conversation. So we're going to talk about private conversations today around sales, because there's lots of ways to sell stuff, but we're going to talk about selling high value offers. And usually that means a private conversation. And with the talk, the idea is that you talk, tell a little bit about yourself, you tell a story even so it exhibits what you're going to teach. You teach some things, and then you teach it in a way that it's not so like you could do it all on your own. You need to teach it in a way where they see that they need your help. There's something missing that they're not getting, just doing it on their own.
Yep.
And so, one of the best ways to convert from speaking to a sales conversation, which is, we're selling here. We're still talking about selling at the end of the talk. It's, raise your hand if you know this might be kind of hard to do all by yourself. Or raise your hand if you know you might need a little help with this. Super simple, right? Or how many of you guys know, put in the chat money, like a money sign, if you know you might need a little help with your money at some point. Yeah, money signs. Okay. Yeah, I see money signs. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and I have a link you can apply and say, I'd go to speakwithleela.com, or you might just say, go ahead. You're right. Laura put the money signs in. I love this. Go ahead and, I see your name and I'll reach out to you and let's set a time to talk, and I'll give you a plan, and you got to set something up. So the sell on the offer at the end of the speech is the call where you're going to get X, where I'm going to show you what I would say is show you where your money blocks are. Something like that. You're not going to get rid of them in one conversation. They need, a process. They need they need other things with you, ideally. Or maybe they schedule one session with you. It's a one-off. I don't know what your system is, but if a high-end offer, it might be a bigger program. Then you're going to want one conversation where you say, here's what's going on. Here's what we need to work on. And then here's what it's going to take. And that's what you sell. That's the second sell. So you're doing a first sell tonight, second sell later if you're going that way. Okay.
Yep.
Does that feel good?
Yeah. And I think that's basically what I've got, because I've got two offers for them. One's free and one's going to be paid. It's a Black Friday sale coming up, and I've kind of incorporated some of that into the presentation. So yeah.
Play with this I'm just going to give you an idea from a conversion standpoint. Play with this. Some audiences you might want to offer just one thing to. Just because you have a lot of stuff doesn't mean you want to offer it all, right? So really think about what you want at the end game. It's okay to make multiple offers sometimes, but generally speaking, a divided mind makes no decision.
Mhm.
So just feel into it and play with the numbers for your conversion, see how it works for you. It might be fine.
Okay.
I've done it before too, but it's got to be like the right audience and the right fit. And feel into it even that day with that audience. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
It does.
What I want you to do over time as we show up together and learn is really be able to sell higher end and sell easier. And when you're speaking or doing even one-on-one conversations, the better you get at sales, the better you know at what to sell. That makes sense?
Yes.
Cool. So
It
I love
does.
that question. I think that's a great question because so many people are talking in front of groups right now and not converting. And that's why I'm here. It like drives me crazy. It's my like thing. I'm like, please, I watch speakers do it all the time. I'm like, they're making no money on the back end. I know it because of the way they presented it. So that's why I said, just, a simple little like conversion at the end can do, really keeping that in mind will help you, work your whole speech backwards.
Okay.
Everybody needs a Leela. I love you, Laura. I love you. All right. Well, I want to show you guys like a few little things that Leela is going to bring because, sales is something that I'm really passionate about. I'm not going to go on and on. You guys have heard my story before about packing panties. It's really what was my low point of like, I need to figure this out because I'm not going to keep going like this and have a business. And so sales was something I really dove into. I've spent a lot of money, a lot of time. I've had a lot of coaching, and I'm still mastering this craft because you learn more and more and more and more and more over the years with sales if you just commit to it and start to love it. So I'm going to dive into this and what I say is how to apply a reliable sales system. I'm going to teach you my sales system briefly, just briefly. I have other training, bigger trainings on it, free and paid, whatever you want. But this today, my whole point, I'm going to show you what I want you to do is find what works for you and use it. Get really good at it. And whether it's the one that I teach you or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. Or if you create your own and it works, fine. But you need to have a system that sells your stuff. And if you don't, what happens is you show up feeling somewhat unprepared and you don't even seem like a leader in the beginning and you don't make the sale. It's like subtle energy. And so I'm just going to tell you, like, if you want mine, I give it away free. I'm going to share it with you shortly today. You can go on the internet and YouTube it or buy books. Achieve has probably stuff like there's all sorts of resources out there for you for sure. If you don't want to create something brand new, look at it. There's a psychology behind it. And I'm going to show you that like towards the end of the training. It's not deep psychology. I'm showing you simple, what the way I see it. Okay. Just as a reminder in the trainings that I'm doing with you guys, we've covered the first week, which is going over everything. The second week was being how to be all in on your offers, your clear offers, being really crystal clear. The second week, last week, is a training that I really, really recommend visiting often because it will help you become what you want faster, not doing so much. And I believe in you. You don't have to work so hard. And then today, let's talk about sales, one of my favorite subjects, and it didn't used to be, but now it is. And I love working with people on this and teaching it and talking about it and learning more. So let's go into it. What is sales? Lots of ways to think about sales. Just drop me in the chat. Like, what do you think of when you see the word sales or hear the word sales? Okay, let's see. Pushy people that put me off. Woo! That's hot tamale, baby. I get it. We've all been there. Yeah. Used car salesman. Yeah. You're like, can you just leave me alone? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So I'm gonna tell you how I define sales. I'm gonna offer you an idea. I'm gonna read this out loud, and I'm gonna show you a slide, and then I'm gonna read something out loud. So if you wanna, I'm gonna show you this slide first. So this is a retreat that I held, and you can see we're having a good time. This is one of the results. I just wanted to show you. I have lots and lots of pictures, but this is just one that I think is funny, and I wanted to show you. This is one of the results of sales. I'll offer you the opportunity now to close your eyes if you want and just listen and feel this and see how this feels to you, or you can keep your eyes open. The slide will stay up when you keep your eyes open, but close your eyes if you want. I define sales as empowering others with more information so they may make a more informed choice for themselves. I'll say it again. Sales is empowering others with more information so they may make a more informed choice for themselves. So I'm just gonna ask you guys, how'd that sit with you?
So much better, actually. It now didn't seem like something that, well, we're all trying to educate people so that we can give them information so that they can make an informed decision. That's what I do through mine, and Laura does as well. So it doesn't seem quite so bad now. I think we need to throw out the word sales. It's scary.
Or the judgment, or we could throw out the judgment against the word.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of what I've always done. I mean, even
sales isn't bad to everybody, so that's not the word that's bad.
I know, it's the understanding of it. Mm-hmm.
It's the choice to judge it or not. Mm-hmm. It's not an understanding even. It's just choosing to see it a certain way or choosing to see it a different way.
Yep.
And how you see it matters in your business. So I would offer you as a piece of homework, because I got another piece later that's fun, but define sales for yourself. You know, I'll pull this back up and like, maybe you have a different definition. And I would say this piece, I would go into the year, the holiday next year with a new perspective on and like own it for yourself. Because this is how you make money. This is how you help people. Right? Like I said, if it wasn't for sales, I wouldn't have had this and so much more, so much more. My days are just filled with beautiful souls. I'm just so grateful. So what is it you want to do on your sales conversations? You know, not be pushy, not be used salesperson, right? Sales car person, used car salesperson. But maybe something more like this, or something where it's more heartfelt. So I created my own sales system, basically because I felt the same way about sales. And there's many sales systems I've studied under that I don't agree with all the parts, maybe a little bit of them, but I'm not out of integrity. I'm all about integrity. And so I also work with a lot of empaths and healers and heartfelt bleeding heart types, and Achieve has a lot of those people. So it's the perfect kind of sales system, I believe, to support you. But whatever it is, you know, find one that's reliable. So I want to tell you one more piece that in the moment, sales is about this, empowering others. And you, even if somebody doesn't buy, I often say, I'm their person once they're ready, because I empowered them. I had no judgment and no attachment to the outcome. I didn't need them to sign up. If you look at sales this way, there's no loss, it's all gain, and you're planting seeds for the future. Once they're ready, you're their person if you do the sales conversation right. I have a client right now that I did I offered her coaching about 10 times, over about 3 years. And she signed up and she's been with me for almost 2 years now. And I was just committed to her because I saw what was possible. And she's made more money than ever and she wants to make even more. and help more people. And she's just doing cool stuff in the world. And before, she was basically speaking a lot, but not making any money. And she's a really good speaker, and she's an author and all this stuff. And so I knew, even though she said no, I was planting seeds for the future. So what I promise you is, if you do sales conversations now, and I'll show you how, that you won't have to do as many later if you do them well now. You will want to create a follow-up plan, care about, follow-up to me is like caring about people. Hey, how are you? What's going on? Like, I've had many conversations with people over and over who haven't bought, and then they did, or maybe they never do, but care about them so much that they come to you when it's time. Okay. And so that's what I really love teaching people how to do, is because this can be a really like intimate, heartfelt, powerful experience together if you choose to approach it this way. So take a moment and just ask yourself, how many hours do you spend on marketing? And how many hours do you spend on sales? What I'm going to tell you right now is, marketing isn't what makes you money, it's sales. Do we need marketing? Yes. Do we need sales? More. I would guess most everybody that's in the first few years of business, at least, even first 5 years, is still probably not doing enough sales. There's like a shift that will happen at some point where you'll realize you need to stay consistent with sales and do sales, and just be on the phone with people, planting seeds and all of that as often as you can. And you see that with Robert a lot. And that's why, we're doing this. It's like, let's get really good at sales. And it actually is really awesome. So the challenge with marketing, I love to put this slide up sometimes, because it's like, this is what happens with marketing. It's like, all the things, post on all the social medias, do videos, don't do videos, make videos live, make videos short, TikTok, podcast, pay for an ad. I could go on and on and on. We really don't need all of these. We need a couple that work really well. As long as you're building relationships and connecting with people and creating really meaningful connections, whatever marketing you do will work. But it's the overwhelm of the marketing sometimes that keeps us from making the money. And so I just want to point this out. If you've been here, or if you get here again, we'll roller coaster sometimes. We'll be on kind of in the flow and then off, out of the flow. And so if this is ever a challenge, just pause. And what I would say is, shift your energy from marketing a little bit to sales. Okay. And if you're not sure how to get people on the phone, we can have a conversation another day. That's a different conversation about how to do reach outs and stuff like that. I want to share today the 7-step system I created. I created this to sell high-end offers. It's reliable because it's, in my own world, it's sold well over $500,000 in coaching. And with my clients, I haven't counted it, but I would guess just off the top of my head around $1 million. I have to do the numbers, but we'll just say $1 million at least minimum, that this system that I created has sold. So I know it works, but it doesn't mean it's the one for you. You've got to find what works for you. Okay. So I want to go on the outside of the circle here first. You're going to see the now, the future, and the past. So when you're on your sales conversation, consider, really watch where you are. Are you, in the now, in the future, or the past? Notice how there's 2 blocks here, and we're going to go over them. In the future, there's a reason for that. You need to spend more time in the future vision, the feeling state of the future vision as well, in order for them to feel the value of what you're offering. So let's go over that. If you're being in the past too much, the problems or the what's going on now, we're going to shift you today to future vision in your sales. This is the key basically to how I sell everything. It's that future piece. So number 1, be the leader. Just, show up of course, on time, call them, or, on Zoom or whatever. Always show up on time. A little bit early is on time. If you're on Zoom, just in case tech issues go on. be the leader, let them know what you're going to do on the call. You know, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to learn a little bit about you. I'm going to learn about where you want to go, a little bit about challenges you've been having. And if it makes sense, write that down. If it makes sense, we'll talk about how we can work together, or I'll invite you into my program, or whatever your language is. But let them know, like you're doing sort of like a book report in school. Tell them what you're going to do, you know, before you do it. Be the leader, you know, show up, be really present, be in your body, breathe, relax, no attachment to the outcome, no judgment, full service, you know. And then ask them a simple question about where they are right now. What do you have going on right now? So if it were me and you, or you and I might say, you know, what's going on with your business right now? Where are you? Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. You'd probably talk about your services. A lot of my people won't talk about money. So I'll be like, well, how are you on the revenue flow, right? How's your cash flow? You know, are you where you want to be? Where are you, right? So they share where they are. Then I'm like, okay, where do you want to be? So how much money do you want to make? Where do you want this business to go? A lot of my people might want a retreat center, or they might want to buy a new house, or move somewhere, or upgrade their existing lifestyle. Those are most of my people. And so they're usually telling me about their dream home. A lot of my people would like to also retire their husbands. That's an interesting one I get a lot. I don't talk about, but they tell me a lot. They would like to help their husbands not work so hard. And it's so sweet. It really touches my heart. I just want to cry. And so listen to that. And then what you want to do, so you get those, like, it's like facts here. Listen for the desire. You're going to go deeper now. You're like, well, because ideally you guys are, you know, in tune enough to hear the thing. And if they're not going there, you're like, what else do you want? Is there anything else do you want? And like I said, a lot of mine will say something like they want to retire their husband. And that might be their thing. And so then you want to go deeper into that thing. If they want a boat, if they want to be, you know, free of their, you might be doing some healing work and they're free of their, you know, victim mentality, and their, you know, maybe they finally have the energy they want. Like, it just depends on what the thing is that they want. When they have energy, then you go more into it. Well, when your husband's retired, what's going to be doing? You know, what's going to be different? I got a client right now, for example, her husband plays in the stock market and wants to do that more. That's what he wants to do with his time. Do stocks. He's really excited about it, but he doesn't have enough time right now because of all the work that he does for the business. And so we're working on a transition plan, right? So I'm like, well, you know, what's he going to do? And so we start talking about his life and her life with them, and how they're going to have more fun and playfulness together, because he won't be so tired, and they can take more vacations. And where do they want to go? Well, we've done this visioning, and she's going to Hawaii and Las Vegas in December. So they can have more fun together. So I want to pause for a moment and come back out. And can you feel how I'm going like really detailed? That's the experience, the desire part. When you get good at that, really feeling the vision with them, if they want, you know, could you guys almost feel these vacations?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't feel it and they can't feel it, don't be surprised if they don't buy. They may buy. It's just a lower likelihood because they can't feel the value. They're kind of cognitively trying to logic their way there instead of like, yes, heart buying. People buy from the heart. Motion, movement. Okay, so we'll wrap up. I want to, that's the most important part, because I'm going to tell you right now, most people don't ask anybody about what they want for their future. You're not going to go around town and then anybody's going to ask you, hey, where do you want to be in the next year, 5 years? No, they got a problem today, or they got a problem in the past. So you, my friend, getting really good at the future visioning, you will stand out, not only with your clients, but in the marketplace as well. You'll start to talk different. It's a whole new world. All right. After that, you're going to identify the blocks. It is not your job, write this down. It is not your job to solve the blocks, solve the problem, solve the challenges on the call. You're not coaching, you're not helping, you're not doing that. You're listening, affirming. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Right. This is one of my biggest mistakes in sales, a lot of people's mistakes. Trying to fix the problem right there. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. So just let them share what's been in the way, even if it's sort of a story or not true or not the full reason, right? It's okay. Just let them share what the blocks are. Then you share a few pieces of expertise. Ideally, this is what your program is, your service package, your product. Well, here, can I share some ideas with you? Asking for permission before you share ideas is helpful for them to receive it better. So would it be okay if I share some ideas with you that could help you get your husband retired? Right? Let go of that anger from the past, take care of yourself more. And then ideally, what I'm going to recommend is, don't go overboard on all the ideas, go kind of big picture and give them maybe, ideally, if you can give 3, but sometimes, a lot of times for some reason, it shows up in my sales conversations 4, because the way that I categorize things for people is in 4 steps. It's like you, offer, sales, marketing. That's how I categorize stuff. So that's how I say, here are the 4 areas I think you need. Now, not everybody needs all that. So maybe they only need 2 or 3 of those areas because they've already got their offers, for example, totally figured out and they're fine. I have a client right now, their offers are great, but their marketing, their sales, and their showing up is kind of wonked. So we've been aligning that. So bridge your gap with your expertise, whatever it is. You say, here's the number, maybe it's just one thing. Here's the one thing I think you need. Here are the 3 things I think you need to get where you want to go, which is the experience the desired place. And then same thing, I would ask for permission again. Would it be okay if I shared how we can work together? And then you share whatever you're selling. Simple, sweet, but give the offer time. Don't rush the offer. You have put in lots of years and energy and time and love into your offer. Honor the offer. Don't rush it. Honor the offer. Don't go into all of the hows, details, a bunch, but results languaging. You're going to get this in order to get that, and that. And here's the investment. And just go slow. This is the part where you might get weird. So, everybody's a little different. The visioning part also people don't go off and deep into. So that's why I teach it so much. So I'm going to give you some homework and then I'll hop out for questions. Before we meet again, what I'm going to offer you the idea for homework is schedule some calls, or if you already have calls scheduled, practice sales. If you want more details of this training, go to saleswithleila.com. I give it to everybody. I want everybody to sell more. And here's what I want you to do is don't be judging about whether you sell or not. Observe yourself where you get kind of weird, where you're like got everybody gets weird, different. Some of us get like pushy. Some of us get lost. Some of us get quiet or shy or talk too much. Like if you go to this area of, I'm the leader, where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's that going to be like? What are the blocks? Here's some ideas, make an offer. In these spaces where you get weird, and then if you want more help, let's talk, because sometimes it's like one little thing you can say to feel smooth. So if you know where you get weird in the sales conversation, you can refine and get better and have higher conversion. So bring awareness to the weirdness, and then let's refine and sell more in your business. All right. How does it feel? Does anybody know do you know where you get weird at all in your sales conversations? Or like when you're speaking on stage maybe, or, it's kind of.
Well, sales conversations, I just don't think I'm asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to think a bit more about that. And these were really good examples, asking for permission to share things, and because then they're going to say yes or no. Mm-hmm. They're not going to say no, but
they have to get them to say yeah, they're going to say yes.
They have the option.
The more time you get them to say yes, the more likely they will at the end.
And then we probably won't feel as bad for pushing information onto them because they've agreed to accept it.
And it's the empowerment piece. Mm-hmm. We're giving them choice along the way instead of telling them. I had a woman book a call with me this past week, and it was interesting to me at the end. I could tell she wasn't going to ask me how to work together. She was just going to go. And I'm like, that ain't going to happen on this call. You know, because I was like, she's a great gal. She's scared. I could feel it. And I go, you know, do you want to learn what it's like to coach with me? Are you interested? Just kind of kept it, nothing. I didn't say, do you want to hear about my program? It was like, well, do you want to know what it would be like to coach with me? And she was like, well, how much would it be? You know, and she didn't sign up yet. We have a follow-up call. We'll see where she is, you know, no pressure either way. But it was interesting to feel the fear that she was like, not even going to ask. Like, I'll ask people, you know, do you want to, if they don't ask me, you know, I'll ask them. I go deeper in my trainings about it. Like, there's so many nuances. It's fun, but this is good for now. I think if we can give you guys the big picture of like present, future, feel the future, past, right? And then bring it into the offer. I think that's enough for now to play with. Notice where you get weird, and then come back and we'll talk about it and we'll refine from there, because I'm going to continue talking. For example, I'm going to next time talk about handling objections, and that's going to support you. And then the third piece I'm going to talk about is future casting, and that's questions on questions on questions. I'm basically giving you a bajillion questions you could ask. So the next three, like this week, next week, the following week, are all around this sales piece. And even after that too, but for sure, these pieces, if you come to these 3 weeks, it's a strong sales training, honestly, like what I'm providing, because I'm breaking it up for you, so it's not too much at once.
My sales call was good, but kind of different because the connection dropped off like twice. We had to wait and reconnect 3 times, and it just kind of really broke up kind of the flow of things. I mean, we really connected, and I might have shared a little too much. That's probably where I might have got a little weird, but I mean, they still see us as working together in the future, but you know, at the time, you know, it's when you're on budgets and stuff, you have to make decisions of which one's going to fit you best for where you need to go at that time. So, but it was
not the budget, it's priority.
Yeah.
Yes. So, can I give you an idea?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a question you can ask people if they're not ready to sign up?
Sure.
In case you have something, we're going to talk about next week too, but I'll give you an idea, and I think it'd be helpful for everybody. Is it's not, you know, now's not the right time. Totally honor that. When would you be ready to start your self-care routine?
Okay.
So it's not buy the program.
Right.
It's get the results. Like, when do you want to go beyond 6 figures? I might ask somebody, right? When do you want to heal your money wounds? What month do you want to talk? Let's set up an appointment. No pressure either way. Let's put a timeline on it. When feels good.
Right.
It's a good follow-up strategy. And it's not like you say it like, well, when would you want it? It's not like that.
It's like
it can come off like, you got to be mindful, right? You got to be like,
No,
well,
yeah.
when would you? I'd love to follow up with you to continue to support you, to make sure that you have what you need. And sometimes they'll set something up and sometimes not. It's fine, but this is the way to keep calls on your calendar later too. And they get to recognize like the point of reference of like, oh, I talked to her 6 months ago and I'm still not taking care of myself. Okay, I'm ready. Happens to me a lot. Like, I'll be like, okay, you're not ready today. Totally cool. When do you feel like you might be ready? Especially if it's like a yes, but not right now because of the money piece, right?
Right.
Totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't cheap, right? I get it. If they're not ready, they're not ready. And I don't want them if they're not ready. We don't want that. That's not what we're doing here. No,
it wouldn't benefit
them
at all.
I'm not going to teach you. I don't teach pushy, because that's not what it is. We want to empower people. That's what we're all about here. So empowering them is also saying timeline stuff. Like, when would you want to say, address this, thing that we talked about and get the solution that you want? When do you want to retire your husband? When do you want that? And then let's put something on the calendar, just connect again. No pressure either way, but let's connect again, see where you are, see how, things can change a lot in a day, let alone in like a week or a month.
Yes, it can.
Oh my God, it's so crazy how much things can change. I mean, I experience it because I live my life, and then I have all these other people I'm familiar with what they go on with them. So that's what I would offer you with this stuff. It's like anytime somebody's a no, it's not a no forever. It's like that's if they think it's just later, get a call on the calendar, schedule it, just get in the calendar. I don't care if it's in August of 2072. Okay, get that sales call.
And you know me, I'm not pushy because I don't like being pushed. So it's not my personality anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, to
I'm the
lead
same.
people, we have to empower them. To empower them, we have to ask strong questions, not talk. That's really what it is. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys is more and more about question asking. Like you love that permission asking question.
Mhm.
It's like, doesn't feel pushy all of a sudden. You're like, would you like to hear some ideas about how you could, lose 10 pounds? Whatever you're selling. Would you like a couple ideas about how you could da, 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 da? If they don't, cool. Conversation's over. If they do, keep going. They always say yes because you've listened to them tell you all their problems in their dream life. So they're probably going to listen to your ideas. And then that's where you feel pushy is like, well, you need to do this, this, and this. You might feel pushy. Well, ask, you won't. Then you might feel pushy about the money piece. And ask, and then you won't. It's cool. And it's the same thing when you're speaking. Ask, how many of you guys know you might need help with this? Give me some sparkle fingers. You know you might need a little help with all this, right? It's the same thing. You ask that question and then like let them choose. It's really not about what we have. It's about opening doors for people to make choices for themselves. All right. Was this helpful, friends?
Roger,
Very helpful.
absolutely.
Yay!
Nice timing as well.
I know,
think
I
it's
love
everything.
that. It's always beautiful. All right, I'll see you guys next week. We'll talk more about handling objections and how to move through those, and same thing, empower people through them.
Okay.
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 Okay. I'll see
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.